right. So, let us begin lecture 9 of our course selected topics in decision modeling. If you recall, in our previous lecture we have started probabilistic dynamic programming. So, the same probabilistic dynamic programming we shall continue in this lecture also, right. So, in this particular lecture, as you can see, our topic is probabilistic dynamic programming. So, in our previous class we have considered this particular problem. So, I just read it one more time. A person has rupees 1000 to invest in one of two investment options A and B in each of the following 3 years. The returns from the investment options after each year are probabilistic as outlined below. So, what are those two options? If you recall that if you put rupees 1000 in option A, after 1 year you may lose all your money, that is the entire 1000 is gone, or you gain 1000 rupees, that means you get 2000 rupees at the end of 1 year. But the probabilities are 30% and 70% for these two options. Whereas, for the option B, either you will have 0 gain or you have a gain of rupees 1000 with probabilities 0.8 and 0.2 respectively. So, if you follow this for the next 3 years, I mean in total 3 years, so maybe first year and then 2 more years, where will you invest your rupees 1000 so that you get the maximum return. So, this is really the probabilistic investment problem. To make the problem simple, we have made some assumption. One assumption is that in any year you have only 3 options, either you invest nothing, or you invest rupees 1000 in option A, or you invest rupees 1000 in option B. So, these are our 3 options. So, if we have to solve the problem by dynamic programming, we divide the problem into stages. Since there are 3 years, so we make 3 stages. In the first stage, stage 1 is the year 1, stage 2 is year 2 and stage 3 is the year 3 of investment. So, these are stages. What is the state? The states are amount of fund available for rest of the investment options. That means, you see, because at the stage 1 you have all the 3 stages. So, you have the entire 1000 rupees available for investment. In stage 2 you have 2 stages, that is stage 2 and stage 3, but you do not know exactly how much rupee is with you. So, let us assume you have S2 available, which you will invest in second year, and the return you will be investing in the third year. So, that is stage 2. In stage 3 you have only the last stage, that is stage 3 at the last year, where you invest S3 amount of money. So, these are our states. Then what are the decisions? As I already told that in every year you have basically 3 options, either you do not invest at all. So, x1 is equal to 0, or you invest in A 1000 rupees, or you invest in B 1000 rupees. So, these are our decisions. So, with that, let us see how it works out. So, here is the worksheet. So, if you really look at the worksheet, you will find that the return after 1 year is loss of rupees 1000 or gain of rupees 1000. These are 2 options. For option B, 0 gain or gain of rupees 1000. These are the 2 options. So, if you really think in terms of Sn, n is the stage, then you have Sn minus 1000 and Sn plus 1000. And in option B, Sn and Sn plus 1000. Now, the expected return will not be based on these 2 figures only. These 2 figures you will then invest in further maybe one of the options, and then you get money. Say it does not matter, you get Sn minus 1000, you may actually invest in option B then. is it all right, or you do not invest. So, all those probabilities are also there in subsequent years. So, you do that, you get some return, again that return you put in subsequent stages. So, all those subsequent stages, whatever you get return after all these subsequent stages, that we call as Fn star n, n plus 1 Sn minus 1000 in this case. So, whatever amount you get after this 1 year, that you put in the subsequent stages, and the final return from all those stages is f n plus 1 star Sn minus 1000. Is it all right? So, then the expected optimal return from future investments will be then 0.3 times the first term and 0.7 times the second term for option A, and 0.8 times the first term and 0.2 times the second term for the subsequent years. So, that is how you really calculate what is known as the expected optimal return. So, if this is what really are my investment options, so I showed you in the previous class the stage 3 calculations. So, you see the stage 3, two situations can actually happen, is it not? Either you have S3 between 0 and 1000, or you had S3 more than 1000. So, only these two situations can result. So, really speaking, even if the amount is more than 2000, it hardly matters, because even suppose you have really 3000 rupees at the beginning of stage 3, but you cannot invest 3000 rupees, you can invest only 1000 rupees. That is the restriction we had already given. So, with that restriction, what we will do, you will invest 1000, whatever return you will get, the remaining 2000 rupees will be with you, and that plus that return, that will be the final return. So, really speaking, if you have S3, only two situations can occur. If you invest in A, either you have S3 minus 1000 or S3 plus 1000 in case of x3 equal to A, or if it is for x3 equal to B, then your options could be either S3, because there is no gain, that is the first option, or S3 plus 1000. So, those are the two options that you get for the option B. So, what will really happen, you will have S3 0.3 times S3 minus 1000 and 0.7 times S3 plus 1000. So, if you compute this, let us compute, very simple computation really, it should be 0.3 S3 plus 300 0.7 S3, these are the S3 part, and here 0.3 into 1000, so minus 300, and 0.7 into 1000, so plus 700. So, this is the total, therefore, becomes S3 plus 400. So, you understand this calculation. So, 0.3 times S3 minus 0.3 times 1000, that is minus 300, 0.7 times S3 plus 0.7 times 1000, that is 700, and the total becomes S3 plus 400. So, that becomes the net return. But please also understand this calculation was possible because stage 3 is the last stage. Since this is the last stage, no further returns will be obtained from the calculations from the investment amounts which is available with us at that point of time. So, that will be our net return S3 plus 400. What will be the similar calculation for x3 equal to B? It will be 0.8 S3, because that is a no loss situation, and 1000 rupees profit situation. So, that is the second part. So, 0.2 times S3 plus 1000. So, total again comes to 0.2 into 1000 200, 0.8 S3 and 0.2 S3. So, S3 plus 200, that should be our return if x3 equal to B. And if you do not invest, whatever be the case, you will return will be S3 itself, whatever amount you had. So, those are the different values which we are going to have in this situation. But if x3 equal to A or x3 equal to B will not arise when S3 is between 0 and 1000. So, this is our stage 3. Now, let us move over to now stage 2, and these stage 3 things can be summarized in this manner. So, all those values only written here. Is it all right? And from here you can find out for the two cases that if S3 is less than 1000 but above 0, then optimal decision is S3 and investment none. If S3 is greater than 1000, then you have two options, three options, S3, S3 plus 400 and S3 plus 200. Out of that, the S3 plus 400, that is our S3 plus 400, that is our maximum value. Since that is our maximum value, so therefore, optimal payoff will be that these A and that S3 plus 400. Is it okay? So, I hope it is understood that up to stage 3 we have got the different options that we have. Now, this we shall carry forward this optimal payoff portion into our stage 2 calculations. So, let us see how we carry on our stage 2 calculation. So, that is our stage 2 calculation. So, in our stage 2 calculation, if you really see in our stage 2 calculation, we have again 3 possible options. So, what are those 3 possible options in stage 2? See, in stage 2 there is an additional option that we are having, that is, one is that S2 is below 1000, but between 0 and 1000, another is 1000 plus, that is 1000 to 2000, and the third option is S2 above 2000. Is it all right? So, these are the different options that we have. So, now under that situation again we have 3 options, x2 equal to 0, x2 equal to A and x2 equal to B. Is it all right? So, you can see that if it is below 1000, then all the 3 cases there are no investment. In fact, case does not arise x2 equal to A or x2 equal to B, but if S2 is less than 2000 but more than 1000, that is 1000 plus or 1000 or more than 1000, then we can have no investment in the x2 equal to 0 case, x2 equal to A invest in A, x2 equal to B invest in B, and here x2 less than equal to 2000, again only one investment of 1000 in A or B, right. So, those are the different options that you have in our stage 2 calculation. So, now if I go further into our stage 3 calculation, if I really go into our further stage 2 calculations, then let us see the first row. If I see the first row, then what I find is that in the first row there is, when S2 is between 0 and 1000, when x2 equal to 0, then no investment. So, return will be S3 itself. You see, what is that S3 equal to S2? Let us understand. See, at this stage we have no investment. What was the money that was invested? S2, is it not? After this stage 2 is over, in the beginning of stage 3, what will be the money that will be available? That means, what is S3? The money that we have for investment at the beginning of stage 3, that will be S2 itself. But then we also have to look at this chart, what is that optimal decision if we have the case. And now what will be your comment on S2? S2 is less than 1000, we make no investment. So, you see S2 is less than 1000, we make no investment, and these particular S2 which is becomes S3 and both are equal. If we invest in the stage 3, what will be the optimal return? The optimal return in that case would be nothing but S3 itself, because that is the optimal payoff we have found from stage 3. So, S2 goes to third stage, that is S3, S3 equal to S2, and then that S3 is giving return S3 itself. That means, the final return, that is the optimal return in this particular case where S2 is between 0 and 1000 but less than 1000, is nothing but S2 itself. Is it not? That is what is explained here for 0 S2 between 0 and 1000 and x2 equal to 0 with no investment, amount S2 will be carried over to stage 3, it is S3 equal to S2, and in stage 3 for S3 between 0 to 1000 optimal payoff is S3, that you can see from that table, and hence combining the two facts at stage 2, the payoff for next will be nothing but S2 itself. Is all right. So, this is how you understand the first row. Now, once you understood the first row, let us move over to the next one, that is the next stage, that is stage 2 calculations in the second row. So, if we see the second row now, where S2 is between 1000 to 2000, at that stage again, when if you make no investment, then you see earlier we got S3 equal to S2. This time also the amount is more than 1000. So, we get again the same amount carried over to the third stage, that is S3, but this one is above 1000 because that is the case. So, if that is the case, now look at the optimal table for the next stage. At this stage, if you see the table, then you find that if S3 equal to 1000, then the optimal payoff is x3 equal to A, and that optimal value is S3 plus 400. So, this is something new from our previous slide. See what has happened in our previous slide, S3 equal to S2 and the case was below 1000. So, we use the first line and then I found whatever is the amount, the same thing is returned. But here now the optimal is A at stage 3 and the amount that you get back is S3 plus 400, that is the expected return. But then S3 equal to S2, because that is the amount that is invested. So, if stage 3 optimal payoff is S3 plus 400, what will be the stage 2 return? What will be the stage 2 optimal? Because we see there is no investment, same S2 goes to S3. So, therefore, the stage 2 optimal return in this particular situation will be nothing but S2 plus 400, right. It cannot be called optimal in that sense, because that is the return for x2 equal to 0. The optimal will be the best result coming out of 0, A, B, all three consideration. So, this is going to be the return, that is S2 plus 400, and this value is obtained by considering the amount of investment that goes to the stage 3 and the optimal payoff that is coming at the stage 3 by both these consideration. So, when an S2 amount goes as S3 in the stage 3 which is invested, and you get an expected return of S3 plus 400, and therefore, since S3 equal to S2, the stage 2 return would be S2 plus 400. Is it all right? So, I hope you understand. So, let us move to the next case, x2 equal to A. So, can you really come out with a specific discussion about it? See what happens, your amount is less than 2000, but more than or equal to 1000. So, the two possible returns are there. What are they? One is that S2 minus 1000 and the other is S2 plus 1000. So, those are the two different returns. Now, you see your original value, that is S2, was less than 2000. If you invest 1000, then the remaining money will be below 1000, definitely so. And in the other case where you get 1000 rupees more and you already had 1000 plus 1000 or more, obviously the resulting amount is more than 1000. So, that means the stage 3 optimal payoff will be two different cases. In the first case, because that was below 1000, obviously your optimal thing will be S3. So, look here, this S3. This S3 is put here. How? That we have an amount invested, that is S3, which is below 1000, and we have made 1000 rupees loss. Our original money was less than 2000. So, now our money is below 1000. So, that corresponding return is S3. What will be my return if I make profit? Suppose I put an amount of S2 and out of S2 1000 rupees in option A, and I get a return of plus 1000. So, my money now becomes S2 plus 1000, which I invest further in stage 3 in the most optimal way. This case is this highlighted case, and there my return is S3 plus 400. So, therefore, there now this return will be S3 plus 400 because it is above 1000, right. So, this is how we calculate stage by stage. So, you will now tell what will be the situation of option B. In option B, please hear, the money is 1000 or more. We have two situations may come in stage 2. When you put an amount of S2, either it makes no gain no loss situation, probability 80%, or I make 1000 rupees profit, which is the profit situation. So, when I make no gain no loss situation, then whatever amount S2 I put, that becomes S3. Or otherwise, the other option is I had S2 and it becomes S2 plus 1000, that is the optimistic situation. So, S3 will have two cases, both are S2 and S2 plus 1000 respectively, and both are above 1000. Since both are above 1000, obviously, when we get to the stage 3, I will be then be guided by the optimal payoff here. That means, I put in A and I get an expected payoff of S3 plus 400. Is it all right? So, what should be the stage 3 optimal payoff under those situations? So, under those situations, then it will be not this, it will be then S3 plus 400, sorry, these are the optimal payoff. So, this is okay, these are the optimal payoff. So, if these are the optimal payoff, what will be my the optimal payoff from this stage. So, can you calculate for both option A and option B? Let us calculate for the option B first. Just now we found that stage 3 optimal payoffs are S3 and S3 plus 400. Now, in both cases we have got above 1000. So, since in both cases we have above 1000, that means in both cases this will be our return. So, what will be the return here? In this case S3 equal to S2, then the return will be S2 plus 400. And what will be my return here? In this case our return will be then S2 plus 1400. I hope it is clear. And in this case S3 is below 1000, this is S2 minus 1000. So, in this case, since the optimal is S3 itself, so in this case the return will be, in this case the return will be, because we had S2 minus 1000, this return will be S2 minus 1000, and in this case the return will be S2 plus 400 plus 1000, right. So, those will be the returns. So, all of these are put in our next screen, that is our next screen. So, please look what really has come out, that is in the option A case. Option B we have already seen that when it is between 1000 and 2000, that either it is S3 plus 400 or S2 plus 400, because S3 plus 400 is the stage 3. So, S2 return will then become S2 plus 400, and in this case we find that if it is below 1000 S3, in that case it becomes S2 minus 1000 itself, or S2 plus 1000 plus 400, because that is the corresponding payoff when it is above 1000. So, it becomes then 0.3 S2 minus 1000. So, 0.3 S2 minus 1000 plus 0.7 S2 plus 1400. So, what is the resulting value? It should be S2 minus 300 plus 980. So, the resulting value should be S2 plus 680. So, once again, what has happened in x2 equal to A? Our return is either S2 minus 1000 or S2 plus 1000, that is invested in stage 3. The stage 3 optimal returns are S3 if it is below 1000 and S3 plus 400 if it is above 1000. Since the first one is below 1000, it is remains as it is S2 minus 1000. Second one is above 1000, so it should be S2 plus 1000 plus 400. So, those will be then the expected payoff can be obtained by this calculation, which is S2 plus 680. So, all right. So, this is how the calculation is done, and we see for option B all the figures are above 1000 because there is no loss and the original amount was 1000 or more. So, both the return figures after stage 3 they are above 1000. The optimal return from stage 3 are S3 plus 400. So, in both cases 400 will be added. So, one is S2 plus 400, another is S2 plus 1000 plus 400, and the expected payoff, because the probabilities are 0.8 and 0.2, will then become S2 plus 600. So, that is how these calculations are done. So, once these calculations are done, then we can put the try to do the last part of it, that S2 greater than 2000. So, if S2 greater than 2000 and we make no investment, then we see that since S2 is greater than 2000, no investment. So, S3 will be S2 itself, and stage 3 optimal payoff for more than 1000 is S3 plus 400. So, stage 2 return will be S2 plus 400. So, you see this is very straightforward. So, there will be no problem as such, right. So, there will be no problem as such in this calculation. This will be S2 plus 400. But then what will happen here? You had either S2 minus 1000 or S2 plus 1000 the returns, because that we see in the option A case. In both the cases the result is above 1000. So, if above 1000, the optimal payoff at stage 3 is S3 plus 400, and therefore, both the cases will be guided by this. So, both the cases will have another 400 rupees addition at the stage 3 level. So, when you add them, it then become S2 minus 1000 plus 400 and S2 plus 1000 plus 400. So, it will be then 0.3 S2 minus 600 plus 0.7 S2 plus 1400. So, when you calculate this, it becomes S2 plus 800, is it all right. So, this is 980 minus 180. So, S2 plus 800, and in case of option B, the similar returns will be S2 plus 400 and S2 plus 1400, and 0.8 of this and 0.2 of this, you get S2 plus 600. So, that is how our stage 2 calculations will go, and when you put them all together, then this is how it summarizes. That is, for the 3 cases you get the different payoff figures, and again you find out the optimal payoffs for all these different cases. So, these are my optimal payoff. So, if it is 1000 less than 1000, optimal is S2. If it is between 1000 and 2000, but less than 2000, it is S2 plus 680, and if it is above 2000, it is S2 plus 800. So, now if you add them all and then we move over to our stage 1, then you can come to our stage 1 calculation. So, now you see in stage 1 you had just 1000 rupees, and these 1000 rupees again you have those 3 options. Now, in 1000 rupees if you do not invest at all, then you have 1000 or more. So, the return for you in the subsequent stages will be for 1000 to 1000 to 2000. Yeah, that will be actually not 1400, it will be 680. Is it okay? Because it was 680. So, this is not 400, just a minute. Yeah. So, it will be your 680, that is the return. So, it is 680. So, 1000 plus 680 and this will be then 1680. So, return will be 1680, that is the return. And in this case the return will be 1000 you put. So, the if it is below 1000 then it is S2, and if it is above 2000 or more, because you see you have 1000 rupees at the beginning of S1, you put your entire 1000 rupees, and if you make a loss then your return will be 0, and if you make a profit then your return will be 2000. So, the one case is here, the other case is here, right. These are the two cases. So, return will be either S2 or S2 plus 800. So, that means the two returns, one is the return is no addition, another is 800 addition. So, it is an expected payoff will be between that 0 and 2000 plus 800. So, it becomes 1960. So, 0.3 into 0 nothing, 0.7 into 2800 comes to 1960. Is it all right? And then finally, at x2 equal to b, what you really find that your return will be either 1000 or 2000. So, in one case you add 680 and other case you add 800. So, when you add that, the one will be 1680, the other will be 2080. So, by making 80% of these and 20% of these, your return will be 1904. So, those are my all the returns at the stage 1. Then combining them all, you can then have this one sorry. So, that one was 1680. So, there is a small change, this was 1680, right. So, this is our final figure 1680, 1960 and 1904, and the optimal value comes out to be 1960, and therefore, you put an investment of 1960 in A. But then these optimal things has to be combined further. So, we will let us see that in our next slide, that is in stage 3 these are our optimal, in stage 2 these are our optimal, and in stage 1 these are our optimal. So, in stage 1 optimal decision is A. So, it says in stage 1 year 1 invest rupees 1000 in option A, because that is optimal. If return is nil, invest nothing in stage 2, because if you put 1000 return could be 0 or 2000. If the return is nil, invest nothing in stage 2 or stage 3, because you have no money, you cannot invest anywhere. But if the return is rupees 2000, then invest rupees 1000 in stage 2 in option A again, because your return is 2000, which is this case. So, in this case optimum is A. So, invest rupees 1000 in stage 2 in option A again. Again your return could be nil, but if you have return is nil, you had 2000. So, you have 1000 rupees available, which you again invest in A again, because that is the case is here. Is it all right? And if at the second stage your return is again 2000, that means totally you have now rupees 3000, is it not? Because you had 2000, you invested 1000 and gained 1000 more. So, again invest 1000 in stage 3 in option A, right. So, this is how you can solve the probabilistic dynamic programming problem. Is it okay? So, this was a little difficult exercise, but I am sure if you go through it carefully you will understand, right. So, thank you very much.